Beautiful works of spiritually inspired art. August 1, 2014. The higher selves and guides of each of you are with you, waiting for you to realize and act on our constant presence around you. And if you find it difficult to connect with us, we recommend meditation or anything else that helps you attune to the higher vibration descending onto your minds and hearts. The company of heaven can be sought and connected with whenever the inspiration arises to connect, and those of you who seem to experience misconnections are encouraged to do whatever you can to lighten and refine your vibration before channeling us. You can refine your vibration throughout the day, of course, but we recommend doing this before connecting with the higher realms because it'll strengthen the potency of the resulting connection. When humanity understands that you're infinite receptors for the energy and information of the higher realms, the difficulties so many conscious seekers have had connecting with our energies will be replaced with a full-on understanding that the energetic breezes you can receive from us are, in actuality, very easy to pick up on. Simple yet complicated. Connecting with the higher realms is so easy that it's become complicated for some conscious seekers. Receiving our energies and impressions doesn't require any mental work whatsoever, and in fact, subduing and transcending the ego is required to connect with us. Feeling the loving energies being sent through your opening and expanding hearts, and interpreting this energy with no mental hindrance or barrier whatsoever is the key to successful channeling, but many souls make it much more difficult than it has to be by mentally striving to connect. We note that many souls have a lot of preconditioned ideas about how our messages should feel when they come through, and some expect us to deliver big, grandiose statements or predictions that aren't as relevant to your future as the inner and outer work you do to bring it about. Some souls expect us to use inflated terms or express a stronger sense of importance than we intend to, and we don't intend to speak to humanity as a supreme spiritual source that knows everything and should be followed as strictly as religious souls follow their various texts. We do intend to bring through a plethora of sacred texts as we've called them in the past, but we don't intend for you to convince yourselves we should be endlessly and aimlessly followed simply because we come from a higher state of consciousness. We're very much like you, and many of us have had our own lower dimensional experiences, and, as such, have a lot to help you understand about the lessons and experiences that are leading you back into the higher realms. We simply seek to assist, not to be followed or preached to humanity as a sole source of spiritual information and energy, and in fact, we're one out of plenty of sources who genuinely intend to help humanity become aware of spirit, and flow from there, assisting everyone around you in doing the same. We offer our energies and impressions in hopes that every earthly soul who's been lost in the maelstrom of the lower dimensions can see that the light exists, and is permeating your planet in stronger doses than ever before, and we note with joy that channels for our energies and impressions are growing every day. Genuine channels are arising and delivering our energy in increasingly pure ways, and as your collective vibration continues to rise, you'll find that all sorts of earthly souls became aware of spirit and started channeling, embracing it as their service to humanity. There are various things you can do to help humanity become aware, and while we don't recommend burning yourselves out by trying too many different things at once, we do recommend pursuing the things that resonate with you, and using the deeper connections you're making to spread the spiritual knowledge through various creative avenues. Now that you've begun to discover spirit and the wonders that await your perception, you're infinite in terms of what you can do and be, and we recommend at least attempting to express yourselves in different creative ways. We recommend writing music, writing poetry, creating beautiful works of spiritually inspired art that could go on to uplift and inspire others. Progressive creative purposes. Use your deepening connections for positive and progressive creative purposes, and know that you're being endlessly supported by your higher selves, guides, and the rest of the company of heaven, who watch and seek to assist you amidst your growth and development. Understanding that we're here to assist you will help many of you pick up on our energies with more grace and ease than you've been able to so far, and we'll always recommend attuning to the higher vibration you're receiving in whatever way works best for you. We note that for many of you, Your creative outlets provide the higher vibration you seek, while meditation or similar practices help others refine spirit. You're wholeheartedly encouraged to pursue whatever helps you find the higher state of consciousness you seek, and if you find that various practices help you in this quest, feel free to pursue them and use them to deepen your ability to connect with spirit. Your abilities are as limitless as you're willing to believe they are, and if you're willing to understand that you can achieve any feat you set out to achieve, you'll find that the creation of your reality naturally follows suit. As long as you're willing to meet seeming break walls and use them to expand your abilities more than you would have thought possible, you'll develop such abilities with relative ease. You'll have to be willing to meet break walls or creative blocks at times, and when you do, know that it isn't something to be ashamed of. In fact, it can be embraced. As long as you're in a constant, loving space, little else matters. Of course, we don't intend to say you should avoid certain responsibilities or emotions under the guise of constant positivity, but little will bother you when you feel a constant loving energy pour out of you. Even if you seem to meet creative blocks, you can take refuge in this energy for as long as you require before attempting to successfully practice your ability again. Creative blocks will always be temporary, and in many cases, they're a catalyst to the development of any particular ability. If you meet a creative block today, you might find that your creative abilities are strengthened tomorrow. It's always important to have faith that everything you experience is necessary for your growth and advancement, and when you meet a creative block, simply sit back and observe it, perhaps resting for a small time before jumping back into your work. Sometimes, rest is all that's required before you can really hone and act on your creativity, and the best time to do or practice anything is when you have the most energy and enthusiasm to do it. As long as you're enthusiastic about your creative works, they'll flow with ease, and you'll find in the end that such enthusiasm was, in many cases, the most important factor in your obtainment of the flow you seek. Willingness to channel and clear one's mind so the higher self and guides can speak through them, for example, requires a heightened level of enthusiasm to successfully achieve. This is because the misconnections that can be experienced are known to be frustrating if one isn't committed to the process, and even experienced channels have difficulty picking up on our energies and impressions at times. This is because of a host of different factors, and when anyone meets such a creative break wall, simply flowing with it is the best thing they can do. Understanding that it's for a greater purpose will help you navigate it if you experience it, and it also helps to know that even when your channels seem blocked, you're given constant love and support from the company of heaven. We always offer our energy and advice for as many earthly souls as possible to pick up on, and the more open and receptive your mind and hearts are, the deeper the connections you seek to make can be. Once you find a pure connection, you'll see that you can use it for various creative purposes. You can channel your higher selves and guides into articles you write or music you play, for example, and as your vibration rises, you'll find that channeling is an essential aspect of any and every piece of creative work. In everything you create, you act on the influence of aspects of yourselves who exist in other realms. You constantly pick up on the influence of various aspects of your consciousness who seek to assist you, and directly requesting such assistance is the best way to receive it. Once you start noticeably receiving it, you'll see that it affects far more areas of your existence than your creativity. Your creativity will be given a flowing boost, but every other area of your life and the manner in which you live it will be affected tremendously. Your higher selves and the aforementioned other aspects of your consciousness have a lot to offer you in the way of energy and advice, and when you successfully tap into their energies, and, as in the case of some of you, bring them through for the rest of the conscious public to benefit from, the bridge you provide helps waves of other souls awaken to spirit and enjoy the resulting unlimited perception. Pursue your creative connections. Is it hard to imagine that you're clearing the way for billions of others to awaken when you meditate, channel, play music, or do anything else that's inspired by spirit? This is so, and for this and plenty of other reasons, we encourage you to pursue your deepening creative connections as much and as often as possible. why not make it a point to act on your growing creative drive as much as you can? In doing so, you'll find that you drastically raise your vibration and that of everyone around you, and you'll also find that your commitment to your respective projects is turned up. Those of you who channel, for example, will find that your dedication to the process naturally rises as you continue to practice it. You can hang out in the periphery of your channeling abilities for years if you want, but when you're ready, you're encouraged to dive deeper than ever before and discover just how pure of a connection you can make and just how potent the resulting meditation can be. Many channels are completely blissed out when they purely interpret our energies and impressions, and the glittered and colored vibrations they perceive all around them are as dazzling as the seemingly silent and invisible breezes or whispers of energy we send them. It's all very inconceivable to the human mind and ego, and this is why transcending them is more than necessary for anyone who wants to make this flowing connection. When you can connect with spirit in a much purer way than even some of the conscious public has been able to so far, the reality of channeling will be affirmed tenfold, and you'll see just how relevant this ability has always been to the creative process. Again, no matter what creative route you choose to pursue, you tap into a purer aspect of yourselves when you open up to your latent creativity. You unlock the doorway to your inner realms when you're creative, and channeling will especially put you in a very pure frame of mind and heart, which you can use to reach out to everyone around you who continues to be lost in the darkness of lower dimensionality, desperately seeking assistance with the removal of the blinding shackles that have chained them to the third dimension for so long. Now that you're awakening and throwing off these shackles, it's essential that you use the good vibration you're finding to help heal yourselves and the planet around you. Purified collective consciousness. Your collective consciousness will need to be purified to an immense degree before your vibration can be pure enough to greet the presence of various advanced, otherworldly civilizations who await humanity's ascension so they can convene with you again. The more work the conscious public does now, the more you'll accelerate your ascension timetable and that of the construction of your brimming, galactic society. This society will have to be willfully and enthusiastically pursued before it can be created, but with the growing dedication much of the conscious public is showing, we are confident that you'll be able to create this society as long as you continue to come together with the understanding that your perceived differences pose no relevance in the grand scheme of life. At the surface, it's easy to perceive yourselves as different from one another, but underneath the meat suits you've grown attached to, you're all comprised of the pure energy of Source, and, as such, you're all one. Quite literally, everything in creation is composed of one ultimate being of consciousness, one grand Oversoul who's responsible for the creation of everything around us. The physical and spiritual matter we're all incarnate in, and we speak for humanity and the company of heaven when we say this, was created by Source in an effort to endlessly explore itself. We're all on this wild evolutionary ride because we, as Source, wanted to experience ourselves in various lower dimensions of consciousness, and from the sacred center, we rippled our consciousness out, and created the lower and higher dimensions to roam around in, and, eventually, grow away from. When we're all done with this lower vibrational experience, we'll merge back with Source and re-enter the purest realms of consciousness, which exist far beyond our perception and that of plenty of other higher dimensional souls. We can tell you about the realms we're incarnate in, and they're certainly infinite and dazzling compared to your lower dimensional realms, but we have no knowledge of Source's uninhibited realms because they're well beyond our sphere of perception. It's similar to how the fifth dimension exists well beyond your perspective, but as you continue raising your vibration, you'll start to perceive the fourth, fifth, and, for some of you, sixth dimensions. Your dimensional perception will eventually become as infinite as you're beginning to understand you are, and after a very long time in these dimensions, we'll leave them behind and see what Source's realms have to offer. Of course, we all still have a lot of growth and learning to experience before we can reach those realms, and one of the ways we, the company of heaven, seek a higher vibration is by assisting every facet of creation in the lower realms with knowing and understanding themselves as we've come to know and understand ourselves. We've come to see that we're infinite beings of creator energy who have the ability to create endless rounds of consciousness within our sphere of perception, and even communicate with beings who are of a higher consciousness than us, and like many of you on Earth, we routinely connect with and channel other entities who exist in even purer realms than ours. Sometimes, we do this for the benefit of our entire group or collective, just as many scribes on Earth publish their channeled messages to the internet for the rest of the conscious public to absorb and benefit from. Again, we are a lot alike, and when you're back in our realms, you'll see that there are a lot of similarities to our respective spiritual works. Of course, our works take place on a much different level than yours, and the process of channeling higher entities from these realms is much more direct than even the most potent earthly channels have been able to attain with us. Meeting on the similar vibration. We've been able to speak with humanity very clearly and purely for a long amount of your concept of time, but we haven't been able to reach you in anywhere near as pure of a way as the higher entities who connect with us have been able to reach us. This is partly because of our advanced abilities in connecting with them and partly because of their even more advanced abilities in connecting with us, and when we speak with humanity, we lower our vibration slightly to match yours, just as these higher entities do for us. The process of connecting with an earthly channel entails lowering our vibration to the lowest fourth-dimensional realms we can reach, which are usually among the purest of these realms given that we can't lower our vibration too much. Our channels subsequently get into a deeper, meditative, fourth-dimensional state of consciousness so they can connect with us. Most channels, especially those who use automatic writing, experience a slight departure from their bodies, and the small aspect of their consciousness that leaves is able to perceive the outer rungs of the fourth-dimensional borderlands while we speak through them. In the case of more direct contact with humanity through mediums and vocal channels, more of their consciousness travels to the fourth dimension and we're able to speak through them even more directly than we're able to with automatic writing. Automatic writing is still a pure way to bring us through, however, and if you're committed to practicing your ability, you'll find that no matter which channeling method you use, this ability becomes purer and purer. The channeling ability will dazzle any seeker who hones it, and those of you who are starting to are noting the immense meditative effects it can have. This is because, again, an aspect of your consciousness departs to the fourth-dimensional borderlands, which are responsible for your perception of the aforementioned glittered energy, and we're able to funnel our energy through the temples of our scribes, energy that uplifts you and helps you reach a deeply potent state of consciousness. From this state of consciousness, you'll find that your channeling abilities are as infinite as you're beginning to rediscover you are, and when it's understood just how purely and potently you can connect with your higher selves and guides, we can envision waves of seekers practicing channeling and creating a revolution of spiritual inspiration. We've mentioned this spiritually inspired revolution plenty of times in the past, and already, it's gaining popularity with a lot of earthly souls, some of whom are in positions of influence within the media, and use their influence to spread the sacred truths of your existence. You're valuable. Every conscious seeker who's serving humanity by speaking of a positive future, and encouraging people to talk about what they can do to create this future is contributing to the evolution of your planet significantly, and we've said before that as long as your intent is pure and your heart's in the right place, everything you do is valuable. You're very valuable to the Earth's ascension, even if many of you don't realize it, and realizing your value is essential to finding the motivation that'll help you complete your creative works with ease. Everything you could possibly seek lives within, and once you realize this, you can explore your inner realms and reap the flowing fruits of this exploration. The sacred truths of your existence lay within, waiting to be noticed, and now that you're starting to tap into them, we are confident that you'll use them for good instead of misusing them for selfish purposes. The treasures you seek will always exist within, and we'll make our final expressions for this communication with endless encouragement to find and hone these treasures. Some of you are given plenty of time every day to hone your respective creative abilities, And you're forever encouraged to utilize this time and produce as much flowing, spiritually inspired material as you can for your benefit and that of the people around you. You'll be very glad you did in the end, because you'll find that your creativity expanded your ability to find a higher vibration. You'll also find that you helped plenty of others embrace their potent creativity, and when you look back on your ascension experience from the higher realms, you'll be as satisfied as we are when we watch you immerse yourselves in various creative works. Thank you to my higher self and spiritual guides. Channeled through Wes Anak. Footnotes. The Borderlands is apparently the first realm that constitutes the fourth dimension. For more information about it, see the Borderlands at the New Maps of Heaven Spiritual Database, goldengaiadb.com. cultureofawareness.com